Hi and welcome back to my solo playthrough of Starship Captains. I believe, and I'm almost afraid to say that, I am relatively bug free. I think the only thing that I kind of was a little bit too eager was around the 3 tin can technologies that were coming from our passenger. Of course, I'm not able to put those technologies onto my ship. I can use one of those once we have made one more step here, but unfortunately I will not be able to make any connections on my starship to gain the appropriate tech bonuses or whatnot. So that's really still something I need to. I was still wondering why that passenger tells us to basically put both of the Omega mega computer onto this list, but I think it's simply to make sure that the player is not getting this any other way, right? I think that's the idea of this. It's pretty much preventing us from grabbing this from the normal offering. That's at least my understanding. But I think with that being said, we should be able to kick off round 3 of 4, that is. We are still down here at the junkyard, so we have claimed that mission. Of course, we don't need to resolve it, and we can pretty much resolve that mission anytime we see fit. As long as we are on this planet, the mission is reserved for us. But as soon as I'm moving away, someone else might be able to claim that. We have also gained another cadet for this round. We can use them as a cadet, or we can promote them or specialize them into something we need. Right now we have 3 red shirts, and you always know what happens to red shirts, so maybe we go for a blue or for a yellow one. And we were also able to promote one of our science ensigns officers to a commander. In order to do that, again, we would need 2 more medals. And then each commander we have at the end of the game is also another victory point, by the way. So what are we going to do next? Resolving that mission down here isn't bad, quite honestly. We don't need to move away. We would gain 3 points. That's not an awful lot, but we could gain basically some more points through those repairs. Ultimately, if we don't need to move somewhere, I still think that this is our best bet. Unless, again, we want to claim one technology there, which could be also very important. And I honestly believe I had something in mind last time, and I think it was the security suit up there, because it makes the connection working pretty well for us. But I'm okay not using it right now, because let's say if the AI is claiming a technology, they will do that from left to right. Only the 4th technology, that's the one I'm concerned about. So I think we can stay on target and simply go onto a mission, the junkyard. So let's park it here next to our transport, and I really like that gimmick, by the way. So we are assigning one of our operations officers, our bridge officers or so, and a science officer here respectively. And then we do that from top down to bottom. So we'll start with the red one here. We will do 2 repairs, and obviously we are not repairing our tech section, because this is where the passenger will do our repair. So we still get 2 more repairs from our passenger. Of course, it might come too late, and I still may have to whatever do that on our own, but at least 1 more repair should come from our passenger action. I think that's really crucial. But that's the first one here. Nicely done. And then down here we could basically give up one of our pirate tokens we have on our ship to gain another repair, and we would gain 2 bumps on the pirate faction board, and I think this would also give us another point. Every pirate token we have at the end of the game is also a point, but I think we are getting a point right back here from the repair, and we get the extra point from that faction track. So I think that might be the better deal. So yeah, let's totally do that. So we are spending a pirate token here. We are getting 1 more repair. Again, we will stick to our ship, our cargo holds here, and we will basically move our little faction token 2 spaces ahead. But I just remembered something. That's the problem when you are having some breaks in between turns. We have our universal translator here. We can basically transform those 2 blacks into anything. So we could go for this faction board down here. I think that's the Federation board, but I think we want to unlock the technology as soon as possible, right? Think let's totally do that. So we are moving this one 2 spaces up. So we have now unlocked this technology, the Daedalus, what is it, truce or so. So this is gone, and then we have to pick one of those. Pick one technology, and yeah, we have to pick it now. I think this is rather lame, so let's get rid of it. I do not care about this. So we are getting either one of those. Again, from the effect per se, they're doing the same thing. They do, yeah. And we can now send a security officer, yellow one, to the Omega mega computer, and then we can discard the mega computer. I think, not sure if we're discarding it here. I don't think so, actually. At least I think we can draw 3 Omega technologies and basically recycle one of those. That's again one of those cards that will give you more green cards at your disposal. So that's really nice. And some of those do have tech bonus icons which could work for us. Yeah, that's really not terrible. And we also scored an additional point by moving in there. Cool stuff. No, I like that. So we are moving those away. We are discarding that mission here. So that's 3 more points. So from our mission, we have scored 10 points. That's really not an awful lot. This should be more like 20 something towards the end of the game. But again, I don't really know how good you are scoring or how well you are scoring in a solo mode. Let's also, I think we are bringing out new pirates now because we are moving the last token, yeah, indeed, down here. First of all, we will reveal a new mission. That's the Cutlass of Kalos. I believe that's a Cutlass, right? Nice mission, 4 points, 2 bumps. Again, bumps are really great for us with the Universal Translator. So that's really not bad. And then because we have flipped the last countdown token here, we have to bring out more pirate tokens. We will place them onto the countdown tokens accordingly, and then we will resolve them basically from... Oh, I don't really know. Does it matter? I think it doesn't really matter which order we are resolving those. These should be 5. Exactly. So let's have a look at those. So this pirate goes onto the yellow route. It's a yellow pirate. Sometimes it's a little bit tough to see, but believe me, it's yellow. This one is also a yellow one, and I think we are keeping the pirate with the... I have to check that, because they are now basically both on the same line, and we can only have one pirate. The rules, think specifically tell us what to do with that. No, we are removing the ones that came from the planet with a higher number. So unfortunately, the android is gone. Oh, that's so bad. Again, I want these androids. Are you kidding me? So what do we have here? That's also a yellow one. Are they all yellow? I don't know. Let's do this one here. Also a yellow one. And this one is red. Okay, wow. Yeah, that's really a lot going on. And last but not least, we are flipping them all back to their normal side. So we will have another countdown. Yeah, counting down basically as of the next mission. Okay, I forgot this one down here. And I think that was really finally the end of our turn. Over to the AI. So let's draw the first card. And yes, Joel, by the way, this is a solid concrete wall, in case you're wondering. He knows what I mean. And yeah, okay, he's shooting at a pirate. And yeah, the only pirate that's currently adjacent to us is this one here. It's simply out of the game. He's really not, yeah, giving this to us. I don't think I was going for that pirate. On the other hand, this pirate also, I mean, they come with another relic or artifact token, I think artifact, and they all go together. So getting extra actions from those artifacts can be pretty key too, of course. Okay, then back to us, and I think we are going to move. I mean, there's really nothing to do on that planet, and I think in this case we will. It's a little bit wasteful, but I still think it might be worth it. We are moving up here. Should we? That's so tempting. We are getting a bump on each of those faction tokens, and we can use them for our benefits. That's now a tricky one, right? I mean, we can recolor them all. But then what would I do next, actually? I don't want to recolor another of my cadets to a red one, actually. You really need movement, so having at least 3 of those is not a bad thing, don't get me wrong. But having 4, I don't know, because that's really not the thing we are going for, right? Ooh, that's now really a tough one. The next step on the tin can faction board would give us an android. So we could get something to prepare us for the next round to come. But then again, there's really not a lot we can do. We can get, oh yeah, maybe. There is actually a tasty pirate right next to us, which would give us another android. So for the next round, and then we are still only 2 spaces away from that mission up here. Okay, that's now tempting. That's now really tempting. So we may want to do that actually. But this then also means we will most likely only finish. No, I think not. Yeah, then this really would mean we are only getting 1 extra mission. until the end. It's a 7-point. It's really great. But down here, this simple one is also not bad. It doesn't help us in our bonus, in our neon, not the neon observer. What do we have? Oh, it's up there, the operations protocol. So maybe if I don't get it, I maybe can stop worrying about it. I mean, it's also 3 points. We are getting the tech for that, so we are basically using our officer maybe twice even. That's an interesting one. And there is a technology we want, right? Okay, let me take that all back. So we were here. We are moving 2 spaces here to the experimental research. And yeah, that's that. Sorry for my long rant here and mumbling and thinking out loud, but this game, despite the relatively simple mechanics, is definitely can be a brain burner. Okay, let's reveal the next card. Now that's okay, I guess. So again, he's moving to my planet. I have claimed that mission, so not a big deal. And then he's claiming the technology, the fleet communicator. And we are revealing a new one right away, and that's a beta technology. So this can be an oil bath. Okay, that's a nice one, because if we're spending an Android, we can discard this technology instead, and then we can keep the Android. That can be very nice, but so far this was a very Android-free game for us, so I'm not sure if that's the best we can get. Okay, and then I guess we are going for the experimental research, right? We can go for the technology or for the mission, and don't get the technology, right? So we can send our cadet on this mission. We will simply score the 3 points. That's also interesting, but I think we want that technology because we're using our stuff more efficiently. Yeah, let's do that. Let's place it here. I think we are using our medal to specialize this fella. He's now an alien one. And yeah, assigning them correctly here. Cool, so we will score the 3 points anyway, but now, oh, we are not getting the tech bonus. That was the downer. Yeah, that was it. Say we get the technology. It's still okay. Don't get me wrong. It's still okay, but we are not getting the tech one. But that's maybe not the end of the world. And again, that's interesting. So I was really thinking about this one here, and maybe we still want to do that because it gives us 1 connection right away. We're not getting the bonus right away, but it's a connection, which could be, I think it's in the end 1 point swing, or maybe even a 2 point swing. Yeah, let's go for the security suit right away. And as this bonus shows the recycle icon here, we would now be allowed to even exchange one of our technologies. Normally what's out there is out, so you cannot voluntarily dodge technologies, but with this icon here you can do that. But I think in this case we want to hold on to that, so that's cool. So we have made another connection. Again, the penalty of our passenger doesn't kick in, and because of our blueprints we would even gain 1 point for that as well. So not shabby, not really shabby, and quite honestly we don't need to do anything here because we have made the connection and there is nothing to gain. So putting a technology here might be even detrimental. Here we may have to think about that, if that still would give us something or not. But from a point perspective, yeah, this is still open, right? I mean, this is pretty much it's a wash, right? But let's see about that. We can still do stuff. Cool. No, I like that. So we are moving this over. We have scored the 3 points. Again, the countdown is ticking, or the clock is ticking rather. And that's it's an abandoned laboratory, or we can research a abandoned laboratory. Okay, 2 blue. Wow, 4 yellow bumps and a damage and another. That's really not a bad one. So that could be, it's also a 4-pointer. That could be a good technology mission for the last round to come or so. And yeah, the main problem I see now is there is nothing we can do with our yellow officer here. Yeah, we can always repair, don't get me wrong. But repairs, I think that's not our concern, right? Because we get, now could be good, still good. But maybe, maybe, I mean, this guy was here, right? And we used, I think he was this cadet. So instead of coloring him, we could have colored this into a blue one. Then we would still have him. But again, it doesn't really matter anyway. It would still have been, let's call it a useless thing. That's the piece I didn't really think through, and I don't have any. Yeah, I think it doesn't really matter in the end. No, it doesn't really matter, but I think I should have thought this one through. Anyway, let's reveal a new technology. That's a supply adapter or so. Yeah, okay, it comes with a lot of symbols and it can then actively replace an existing technology. That's the only thing that it does. It can be really nice if you want to trigger more bonuses. And again, in a normal multiplayer game, you don't really care about having unconnected icons out there. You want to definitely use them as much as possible. But if they are unconnected, you don't suffer any penalties for that, typically. So that's, would in a multiplayer game, a pretty good technology, I would think. Okay then, let's reveal the next one. So he's moving and completing a mission. And I think the only planet, yeah, that's true, he has to move in here. Yep, so he has to move in here. We are claiming that mission, which means the countdown marker moves down here accordingly. We are bringing out a new mission. And that's a Stargate. That's a very specific one, which again, you can also claim that with any of your crew members, but in order to unlock that bonus here, you really have to send an android. That's basically what this one says. And yeah, I really do love all these references and the artwork. Hilarious. Really love that a lot. But then again, what are we doing? This is really, really bad. We don't have any pirates adjacent to us. If we would have a pirate, I would have totally shot one. But that was the one piece I completely forgot. And this is where you are typically losing the game. If you forget or oversee some of these little things. So if you're not using one of your actions in an efficient way, then it's typically not good for you. So with this yellow security officer, we can either keep her here for the next round to come, which would be okay, actually. So we have another yellow officer. The thing is, do we need that many yellow officers? And I don't think we do. I don't think so. There are not a lot of pirates out there, and this was really not going our way, actually. So I guess instead we are simply taking this. We are going to repair. This also gives us this guy here back, I believe. And in this case, we are simply repairing this one. It doesn't really matter which one we are repairing. We're getting one more free repair this round anyway. But if something happens, I think I want this one here unlocked first, right? But yeah, again, it doesn't really matter. And then we should be able to quickly complete. Okay, now we are doing our passenger action, which in this case means we are completely damage free. Now that's really something. Then we keep going. Okay, yeah, he can shoot another pirate, which is right here next to him. And the last action for this round, yeah, it's another move and technology. So he's taking those quantum torpedoes away again. That's something which I am okay with, though, if something cooler might come up. And I think this one is nothing we could have used particularly well, actually. So I'm really okay that he's taking this one away from us. So he's moving to us. I will do that now off camera. Doesn't really matter. So we are removing this technology here. We are revealing a new one. That's an alpha, and that's the junk press or so. This is also something which might remind you of a scene. So for the pirate token, we gain 2 repairs. And 1 wildcard move, which is a wildcard for us anyway. Not really necessarily the thing I was hoping for, because it comes with a lot of icons. And for us, the more icons we have, yeah, it's not great. It's really not looking good, actually. So we may suffer from 1 penalty here because of our TK404 passenger. But that's still okay, I guess. At least I think. Okay, then let's end the round here accordingly. So we have now 5 folks available here. We are getting 1 extra cadet from the final round of the game. We haven't claimed any stars or space stations yet. And normally when you claim them, you will move into for the preparation space of the next round. So they can only be claimed once per round per player. Oh, not once per round, basically. That's it. So the first player who goes there will take it away and move it up there. And it might come back if that space where it belongs to is empty at that point in time. So if someone is camping here, this token will never come back. But that's usually not what happens. So that's that. We are adding the final card into the mix. And now it's really not a secret anymore. So we're adding another movement and claiming a mission. And then, yeah, we are moving into the final round of the game. So far, I think things are really looking pretty grim. And that's, I guess, mainly because of the lack of androids. I wasn't able to get, I believe I didn't have any android, right? Or did I have one first round or second round or so. I can't really remember, but really getting androids, especially for those missions, can be extremely crucial. So yeah, I think we will suffer from a very, very devastating end result in the end. Anyway, I'm the starting player, and one thing I just noticed. Are you kidding me? Will you allow me this one mulligan? I was completely forgetting this. Sorry for that. It doesn't really change an awful lot. Of course, I had this room available. That was the whole idea. So I will get this token back onto my board. I would have used that yellow character to claim one of those 3 Omega cards, of course. So we have a bounty list. That's an Astropedia. And this is a cookbook. Okay. Ooh. And I can use this now basically to put any of those onto, basically I can recycle one of my technologies. That's what it says. The thing now really is, will we score more points through those? I mean, this one is good. This is 3 points. But let me show that to you. If I use that, and let's say I put this one here, I will gain 1 extra point for blue folks, which I have 3 of, but I will also lose basically 1 point and 1 point here, because again, we suffer 1 penalty point for each unfinished tech bonus here. I mean, this one was something I was already counting on. We're adding now a second one, so if you want to put it this way, we are getting 2 points out of this. And maybe that's what we should be doing, right? Yeah, there's really nothing more meaningful. I mean, what we could... Oh, wait a second. What we could also do is do this, actually. We can recycle that technology. No, let's do this. Absolutely. Yeah. We don't need this one here particularly. We only put this there just to gain something out of this. But no, I think that's pretty cool. So we are gaining this bonus now. And sorry again for all this takesy-backsies. So we are gaining that medal for the tech bonus. So we are not losing anything from there, and we gain the 3 points from that. And we can use this medal to maybe also promote this fella into another science officer. Oh yeah, okay, I think in the end it did work out. The only question now, do we have to discard this card? As a normal technology on your ship, it really says discard to draw 3 and keep one of those, right? Or recycle one of those technologies. Here on this central board, again, in a normal multiplayer game, I think it would stay there to leave every player the opportunity to get it. Maybe, I don't really know. In the solo mode, it could be detrimental enough to say, penalizing enough to whatever, discard it after 1 use only. This is the one piece I'm not entirely sure about, quite honestly. But okay, again, sorry for my taking back things, but this was really, really important, I believe. And now, there is all the more reason not to move up here, but maybe move in there. We're getting a damage, which is, I guess, okay. We get 4 bumps, which yeah, I think that's the one we need to go for. I think so. We are using one of our bridge crew to move 1, 2 spaces up to this abandoned laboratory. Then it's the AI. They will move 1 space and will try to claim a mission, but I think they can't. 1 space, 1 space, 1 space. They're not moving any further than that, and if they are not moving, or if there's not a mission adjacent, they will simply stay where they are. I take that. That's really okay. We are most certainly claiming, or we are going on this mission here, and we'll, okay, we have 2 blue officers now, so that's cool. Do we need, I think, let's see. So we are moving this fella here and this fella here. I think we really want both bonuses, right? We will start here at the top. Thing is, do we know, I think we can go for 2 damage markers and 4 bumps. And I think it could be worth it, or unless we are saying we want to use the... I think, again, for the commanders, we can either basically take the reward here twice. It's similar to what we have done there, or we can also use once and then whatever, call 1 back. And I think in this case, we may want to do that instead. Yeah, let's do that. So again, we are taking 1 point of damage. And again, each damage you gain within the game, you have to put it onto your ship, not onto the tech board here. But for that, we will gain 4 steps on the Tin Can Federation. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that's pretty cool, actually. So we will gain the android. So that's really nice. We will put it into our ready room right away. Oh, I think, where were we? 1, 2, 3, 4. No, we have not done yet. We are the 4 points. One more step and we would then flip it to the other side. We are still here, but this would also give us one technology. And that's the piece I didn't really think through, because we have a similar bonus here. So again, I might want to reconsider things. Yes, I do. In this case, we wouldn't have sent our friend, we would have sent this fella in here. We don't fancy this one here. I think keeping this one here might be more powerful because we get that bonus here right away. And I think we only need it once. Yes. So yeah, really a brainy game here. And yeah, we are getting this bonus from the Tin Can faction board. And in this case, we will totally go for this Omega technology, which we'll put in here. Again, we are not creating new unfinished connections or whatnot. We will simply gain 1 point for each yellow mission. I think we had at least 2. Yeah, 2. That's 2 points for us. Again, not the end of the world, but still I take it. Then we will do, I'll reveal a new one, meta converter for pirates. Oh, that's also a nice one. Oh, that's a pretty cool one actually. But yeah, I think, well, let's see about that. Then we are moving the countdown token over here. That's an interesting one. Oil and cookies. So for only 1, we gain a bump and an artifact and 3 points. Tasty. But okay, we have scored another 4 points. These guys will move back up here. Then we will reveal the next card. And again, he's moving, he's jumping to us and is taking, yeah, that's okay. He can take that technology for sure. Maybe something cooler might come up. Wow, that's really the maintenance stock. That's a cool one. 3 repairs for a blue science officer. This can be really great early game, of course. But let's not forget to move the ship of Captain Shadow to us. And then, quite honestly, I do think we are actually ready to go for this mission here. I think we can do that. Wow. So let's move this fella in here. We are moving 2 spaces, 1 and 2, to save a planet. How cool is that? Oh yeah, I think this will work out fine. Oh, I love that. But let's not forget, okay, they're moving also to us. But again, he's not taking anything away from us, and then they will go for this. Again, this technology could be still something that's worth. Again, in this instance, I really do think he's helping us more than he's damaging us. I mean, again, we are fighting on the same side, and that's a training visor. Yeah, where have we seen that before? So if we are getting a bonus that involves these medals, oh, I can, with that bonus, immediately train a cadet or whatever, re-specialized an ensign. Oh, that can be pretty nice too, actually. Cool. But then it's time to save the planet. Let's bring that over here. So we need this one, we need a red one. Again, androids can go on these red spaces, on any of those spaces. So I think that's pretty amazing. So for the first one, we are simply getting an android back. If we are not using it, which is most likely, we will simply score 1 point for that. But that's in theory an 8-pointer. But we will also gain 1 bump on the Tin Can faction. So now we are allowed to flip this over. It's basically another point. And if we would do that round once more, we would gain this bonus marker for another 5 point. But yeah, that's not gonna happen. But then, last but not least, we would also gain another medal. And yeah, in theory, 2 of these are also worth 1 point, but that's the same for this one here. So this is in theory 1.5 point, but we are not scoring with half points here. But wow, that was pretty successful actually. I take that, 7 or 8 points in this case. So we will move everyone over. Now the android will simply be sent back. But that's also the end of the game, because again, there is nothing we can do with that android. There will be no further mission to appear here. Having now 1 more attack against this one would have been nice, but nothing I can do about that. So let's simply reveal a new mission just for the laughs, and that's a Lost World, a 4-pointer with, well, some very nice bonuses actually. Yeah, that's not bad. In theory, we can skip over almost all things, but the only thing that does matter to us is the passenger one. Everything else, again, he's not taking anything away from us. Yeah, we cannot move or so. No, with the Android, there's nothing we can do. We will only trigger this one passenger action, which will simply repair that damage marker. So it's not entirely repaired our ship, but I still think that this was worth it. And then, yeah, we are basically moving into the final scoring, and therefore we have a handy dandy scoring sheets. We have the missions, we have the faction boards, we will get the points from our Omega cards and or our passenger cards in this case, which is what this means. We are getting 1 point for each commander, for each android, and for each of those pirate markers. Each of those are worth half a point, and we are losing a point for basically every damage marker here on the board. So maybe let's do that one by one. In respect to missions, we have scored 24 points, which I think is still in the mid-range. Again, I have no clue how a seasoned player would score. Really love to play that game against Peter. He would definitely laugh at me and say, hey, you need 50 in order to play in my league. But okay, it's 24 points for us now today. Then we are scoring our faction boards here. Unfortunately, we only have progressed on the one faction here. That was, I think, an okay one, quite honestly, because ultimately we scored 5 points, we got an extra Omega technology, we got all the nice things up here. This one, I think, enabled us to go for that final mission. So I think ultimately this worked out to be okay, but we are only getting 5 points from all of those faction boards. Then we are scoring our passenger, or not passenger in this case. I think we are not losing any points. This connection is done, this connection is done, this connection is done, here is no connection. So we are not suffering any penalties for that. So that's definitely not bad. Then we are looking at the, oh, did I forget that actually? I think the last time, oh, that's an interesting one. After we have moved the last time, I think the last mission we did up here, we would have been able to move one of the tracks up, which means we would have gained 1 more point, let's say, on the pirate track. It doesn't really matter too much other than we are getting 6 points out of our faction boards. Okay, I forgot that, but I think we have caught that. But again, we have not suffered anything from it. Here we are getting a point for each successful tech bonus. 1, 2, 3. 3 points from this. I take that. Not bad, not bad. But we have, I think, some more. We get 1 point for each blue ensign and or commander, right? And I think you're not allowed to promote folks that are here in the waiting line. Maybe if I really have thought it through properly, I should have maybe done this thing, but I will not take it back. So that's 1, 2, 3 more points in here for this card. And here we're getting 1 point for each yellow mission. So that's 1, 2, 3 cards here. So ultimately we have scored 9 points from our Omega cards and basically not losing any points from TK404. I think that wasn't bad. Then we get a point for a commander, a point for our android, and 1 point for our pirate marker. So that's 3 more points. We are getting 1 point for this one here. Again, it would be a if we would have 1 more of those, that would have been 2 points. But again, ultimately it's 1 point, and we are losing 1 point for this damage marker here. And this means ultimately we have scored 42 points. I mean, what were the chances that we really score for those 42 points? And now I'm really curious what the log has to say. Upon your return, you are immediately besieged by reporters demanding to know how you survived all those pirate attacks. They also want your opinion on miniskirts. Okay, I was really hoping for a better reference, but I think maybe it's simply getting old, quite honestly. If it says, okay, you know the answer to the ultimate question or so, but yeah, that's basically what happens when we are scoring 42 points. Maybe let's have a quick look at 41 points in case I was cheating somewhere else. Fleet Edge crew reassigns you to the asteroid mining station on the edge of Nyan space. It's like being in a starship, except the missions now come to you. So yeah, I don't know if that's good or not, but I'm pretty sure that it can get quite nasty when we score only 0 to 20 points. You dock at home station with a grinding noise that ruptures the airlock. Fortunately, no one was waiting at the gate to greet you. Yeah, okay. Really cool. I like the flavor of this epilogue here, and the epilogue is actually something that you also do in a multiplayer game, but we never really do that, quite honestly. But definitely a nice touch, and definitely works for the solo mode. But yeah, that's pretty much how you play Starship Captain using the official solo rules. And again, apologies for all my going back and forth and thinking out too loud. Yes, I did play the multiplayer game sometimes now. but I didn't play the solo mode before. There was some break in between, but again, that's all on me. That's so fine. But bear with me. I really enjoy this game. The solo mode is something which I do like in respect to how easy it is to follow. Again, I'm typically not a big fan of something like beat your own score, but in this case, as there are more passengers out there, for example, it might be still interesting enough just to see how things go. So again, in total you have 6 different passengers out there, depending on what missions there are here, what not missions, technologies are here, what technologies show up there, how those missions show up here, and where those stations. So the game will change each time you play it quite a bit, actually. So I guess, yeah, it's really not bad. And maybe with an expansion they come up with a more sophisticated AI, which you definitely need to defeat rather than just play at your side or so. But yeah, definitely something I enjoy playing. And yeah, with that being said, a huge shout out to all of my patrons and channel members out there. If you want to support my little channel, you will find a link to my page on Patreon, of course. You can join me here directly on YouTube to joining my community. That little join button down there. There's also a little thanks button with a $sign on it. So if you want to donate directly here on YouTube, you can do so in the tip jar up down there. Really appreciate that too. And also definitely like and subscribe, leave a comment. This also greatly helps the channel. And yeah, with that being said, hope to see you soon in one of my other videos. And until then, bye bye.